Okay, next exercise 1.3, question number 1a. Express each of the following complex numbers in the form of a plus bi. Okay, first of all, we need to know what is this I. This I is called the imaginary unit. So this imaginary unit is to when it have no real solution, because look at here, quadratic equation x squared equals to -1. A square root of a negative value, so we define that as I, which is an imaginary unit. So when it is square root -1, we will call it I. So and then same goes to when we move this to I, it will become I squared equals to -1. So every time we saw these two numbers, we would replace it by I. Okay, so first of all, we should solve this first. Solve it as solve this first. So square root -81 over 4 is the same as square root -81 over square root 4, and you will get 9/2 plus square root -81 is, then we need to break it down to be -1 times 81, then square root 4 will be 2. So as the rules that I explained earlier, every time we saw a -1, we replace it by I. So here we saw a -1, so it will be 9/2 plus -1, so it is I. Square root 81 is 9, so 9 so I/2. So the final answer is 9/2 plus 9/2 I. So 9/2 is a real number, but 9/2 I is coefficient with 9/2, but this is not a real number because it have a set negative 1.
Hi, I'm Aisha. I'm going to be explaining exercise 1.3, question 1b. As the question given is root -147 multiplied with root -242 is equals to, you can write it as root 147 multiplied with root -1 multiplied with root 242 multiplied with root -1. As we all know, root -1 is equals to I. So root 147 multiplied with I multiplied with root 242 I. Root 147 will get 7/3 I multiplied with root 242 will get 11/2. So 7/3 I multiplied with 11/2 I. And then we will get 7/3 multiplied with 11/2 I power 2. And then 77/6 I power 2 and I power 2 is equals to -1. So we can write it as 7786 multiplied with -1. And then we will get -77 √6. And we have to write it as a plus bi4. So we will get -7786 plus 0i because we have no imaginary numbers. That is all. Thank you.
Soalan 1C, negatif set 49 tolak set negatif 100. So kita kena ingat yang set negatif 1 sama dengan I. Dengan negatif 100 harapkan dengan set negatif 1. So pakai kalkulator dapat negatif 7 tolakkan dengan 10. Set negatif 1 ni ialah I, so kita masukkan kat sini. So dapatlah jawapan. So for this question we have set negative 400 over set negative 36 plus 4i. Okay, so first of all we should know that set negative 400 is set negative 1 times set 400. Same goes to the set negative 36, set negative 1 times set 36, then plus 4i. Okay, so we know that set negative 1 equals to I. So set 400 is 20 and set negative 1 is I, so we have 20i. And then set 36 is 6, set negative 1 is I, so 6i plus 4i. Okay, and then we're just going to calculate it. So 20i over 6i plus 4i is 10i, so 20i over 10i. So we are going to get our final answers equals to 2. Okay, so for this question we have to simplify I to the power of 34. Okay, so first we have to know that I equals to set negative 1, I square equals to negative 1, I to the power of 3 equals to negative I, and I to the power of 4 equals to 1. So for our question we have I to the power of 34. Okay, so we should know that I repeats every 4 times, so I to the power of 5 is the same as I to the power of 1, which is set negative 1, and I to the power of 6 is the same as I square, I to the power of 7 is the same as I to the power of 3, so it goes on and on and on. So that means we have to divide 34 by 4, but we can't do that because if we divided 34 by 4 we won't get a whole number, kita akan dapat perpuluhan. So what we should do is we should find the biggest number that can be divided by 4, which is 32. So 32 divided by 4 is 8. So we are going to get 34 equals to 4 multiply 8 plus 2. So by that we are going to have I to the power of 4 times 8 plus 2, and then I will divide them and I will get I to the power of 4 times 8 multiply with I square. So we know that I to the power of 4 equals to 1 and I square equals to negative 1. So we are going to get 1 to the power of 8 multiply with negative 1. So 1 to the power of 8 is 1 times negative 1, so the answer is negative 1. Okay, next question is question number 2b. Simplify it. So as we know, I is the imaginary unit. So this question asks us to simplify this equation. So I as an expression with multiple of 2 to simplify the imaginary numbers. So as of this I to the power of 17, we need to simplify it to the simplest form. So 17 cannot be divided by 2, but we can factorize it. I to the power of 2 times 8 plus 1 times I to the power of 3 minus to the power of 3. We can make it I to the power of 2, then times I. This we should do it like this. I to the power of 2, I to the power of 2 times 8 times I, okay, minus 3 I to the power of 2 times 5 to get 10. So we simplify it using pakai sifir 2 untuk dapatkan nilai yang ni lah. So it is easier. So this I use the exponent rule to make it simple lah. Okay, so akan jadi I to the power of 2 ni sama dengan negative 1. Macam rules yang kita belajar, imaginary unit rules, I equals to set negative 1. So kalau I squared pula akan sama dengan negative 1. So kita masukkan dalam ni, so akan jadi I to the power of 2 akan jadi negative 1. So akan jadi negative 1 power of 16, power of 16, negative 1 to the power of 8. Sepatutnya jadi macam ni, silap, I to the power of 8. Okay, ini darab dengan sini, darab dengan I, sini darab dengan I squared, okay, akan jadi negative 1 darab I minus 3. Ni pun I to the power of 2 akan jadi negative 1 to the power of 5. Okay, so negative 1 to the power of 8 akan jadi 1, and times I akan jadi I. So negative 1 times I akan jadi negative I minus negative 1 times 5 akan jadi negative 1. So negative 3 times negative 1. Okay, so I times negative 5 akan jadi negative I, then ni akan jadi positive 3. Positive 3 times I akan jadi I squared, akan jadi positive 3. So I squared lagi, so akan jadi negative 1 plus 3 I akan jadi 3I plus 1. So this is the final answer.
Hi, I'm Nurul Ansha. I'm going to explain exercise 1.3 to C. As the equation given 4 plus 2I power 11 divided with 3I power 4 plus I power 83 minus I power 32. We can solve it one by one that has imaginary numbers. So first we will solve 2I power 11 is equal to 2I power 2 multiplied with 5 plus 1. So we will get 2I power 2 multiplied with 5 multiply with I, and I power 2 is equals to negative 1. So 2 multiply with negative 1 power 5 multiply with I. We will get 2 multiply with negative I. The second one, 3I power 4 is equals to 3I power 2 multiply with 2. We will get 3 multiplied with negative 1 power 2, we will get positive 3. The third one, I power 83. We will get I power 2 multiplied with 41 plus 1. We will get negative 1 power 41 multiplied with I. We will get negative I. The fourth one, we will get I power 32 equals to I power 2 multiplied with 16. We will get negative 1 power 16. We will get positive 1. And then we can replace it with the numbers we have solved in this. So we will get 4 plus 2 multiplied with negative I, and then we get positive 3 minus I minus 1. We will get 4 minus 2I divided with 3 minus I minus 1. We will get 4 minus 2I divided with 2 minus I. And then we can factorize it. It will get 2 multiplied with 2 negative I divided with 2 negative I. And we can solve this. And equals 2 multiplied with 1. So the answer is 2. That is all. Thank you.
Soalan 2D, 4i kuasa 2n tambah 1 tambah 2i kuasa 4n tambah 2. N is an odd number. So first, kita kena expand. So kita akan masukkan ni ke dalam ini. So dia kata n is an odd number. Kita akan pilih salah satu daripada odd number untuk masukkan ke dalam n.
So dah dapat ni, kita akan masukkan balik jawapan ni ke dalam this equation. Dah siap, tapi kita nak ada dalam bentuk ni. So kita akan susun semula.